Konichiwa weebs, Konichiwa everyone, welcome back to Culture Lots. Today we are doing another versus battle between two anime characters, and you may think we are gradually transitioning into a purely versus battle channel, but I assure you that's not the case. We'll be putting out some other normal reviews or what we usually do, and that just actually depends. If you want to see that, you can let us know. If not, basically we'll do whatever you want. So let's just jump right in. The characters we want to compare today will be Naruto, main character of Naruto Shippuden, and Ichigo Kurosaki, the main character of the anime Bleach. Now, this used to be something that was hot back in the day, but gradually I think it died out, and Goku, can he beat Goku? They'll just throw the rest of us. But now that the 1,000-year Blood War arc is upcoming and people are getting hyped for it, it seems like something that is beginning to reoccur again. So I said, let me look at it now. And by the way, this will include spoilers from the 1,000-year Blood War arc, because most of the stuff that I would need for Ichigo to take him to his full potential will be coming from that manga. So I have no choice but to just include it. Including only the anime will be heavily unfair. And for Naruto, most of his stuff will also be from Naruto Shippuden, but though there are some things that I have to mention from Boruto, and I'll also be mentioning them. Okay, so let's just dive right in. We'll first take a look at Naruto, and in the usual way we've done it before, or if you need a background, just skim through our video on the Goku vs Saitama. It will give you a background on the terms we'll be using in this versus battle. So first of all, for Naruto, we'll just jump right in and look for his attack potency. I will not really want to dilly dally around, so I'll just look for or skip to what I think is like his attack potency that will be like his best or his greatest. This is him from this scene that blocked his attack from Toneri. I think is the Moon Wheel Rebirth. It's an attack that splits the moon, and Naruto used the chakra in his arm to overpower that attack. So basically that means that he has enough energy to overpower a moon level attack, and this was like, though I would have said it was just with the chakra on his arm, but though it seemed like he welled up all his chakra in his arm, and there are a lot of details, so we'll just see if he can do that. The ease with which he was able to do it will be left to contention, and that's not Naruto like in his best and greatest. In Boruto, he definitely got stronger. He fought beings like Momoshiki, and Momoshiki now is what I would say is a bit controversial, because he was stated to have a parallel universe and consume stars, and for most people that ability did not show itself in Naruto show, and it seemed really weird if he could really do all the stuff he said he could do. Like King Shiki was someone that was stated to split worlds, and the Sasuke that we knew was barely on par with Naruto was able to hold his ground against him to some extent. So their powers are quite controversial, and scaling them is quite difficult, so I will not try to. You might think it's biased, but I will not try to. I will just skip them. We'll move into his, still on his AP actually. That Naruto, we know he definitely got stronger from there on, but it's hard to say by how much. That's when he fought Momoshiki and stuff. Then it gets to the point of Ishiki, right? When Ishiki first came, he literally trolled the whole of them. Naruto couldn't even compete. And then he goes into this form that the internet has graciously called the Baryon mode. This mode now allows him to somewhat be on par with Ishiki, even trade blows with Ishiki. And I know there's a hacks that comes with the Baryon mode. We'll talk about that later, or we'll talk about that in our conclusion of the battle. So that implies that being barely able to harm a character to being able to trade blows with the character, I know the hacks was greatly involved, but being able to somewhat trade blows indicates like a reasonable jump in attack potency. And if I'm to use this now, I'll say it is not unreasonable to take Naruto, who has already overpowered a moon level attack, add the fact that we know that he improved from his normal state to like when he fought Momoshiki, because him and Sasuke could barely beat Kaguya, right? And we know that Momoshiki is supposed to be greater than Kaguya, and him and Sasuke were able to stand Momoshiki or even beat him to an extent. Taking that, we know he improved, but we don't know necessarily by how much. But putting all this together is not a long shot to call Naruto at that point a planetary character. Even if it's like a small planet or stuff, it's not a long shot to call Naruto a planetary character. Now we'll move on to Naruto Speed. Just right off the bat, he dodged Light Fang from Madara. Data book state it was a light speed attack. That puts his reaction speed at least light speed, faster than light, because you have to be faster than something to dodge it. At least faster than light is the reaction speed. Then we have seen that he's able to maintain speed of this caliber by continually dodging attacks from Sasuke when they fought and stuff like that. So it's at the end of the Naruto, it's safe to assume that him at that point now has the same reaction as his combat speed. That Naruto again improved from that point on to when he met Momoshiki, but it's still hard to scale. But then another issue is that, like, another outlier that will make Naruto like a good speed will be that Naruto that we obviously know was faster than light, meaning he has obviously dodged a light speed attack, could barely even follow Momoshiki, like couldn't even follow Momoshiki. And by the way, Sasuke and Naruto were almost on par during their fight, so we can begin to say that they were on par. And even in the fight against Momoshiki, they were able to complement each other and no one was visibly lagging behind. With this now, right, we can say that even in speed they are on par. And Sasuke, even with his Sharingan, could not follow Ishiki and the rods Ishiki shot, right? Then Naruto goes into this barrier mode of his, and then suddenly he's able to even dodge the rods. I think it was dodge or catch the rod that Ishiki has. So going from barely able to even follow it with your eyes, not even talk about reacting, to now like reacting and dodging it, indicates like a visible jump in speed. It is not a stretch to say that he was jumped his speed by 10 times, being that the speed we took was his speed during the war, and we took a huge jump to his speed during that point. There are other instances in which he reacted to light and stuff, but I think that one and the last point are all we really need to say Naruto is at least faster than light by a multiple of 10. Then his durability, going back to the moon level attack that he overpowered, that also counts as a durability feat. Going all the way now to where he is currently, keep adding the multipliers, it comes out to something almost the same for his what is that? What did I say? His attack potency. It comes out to almost the same for his attack potency as Naruto's durability. So these are like the three things we need, and then we have his Baryon mode hacks. And I have another thing to mention, he has regenerative abilities. So these are things that we also have to consider when we are putting him up against Ichigo. Now I think we should be done with Naruto scaling. Like I said, we'll talk about his hacks and his regenerative abilities in the conclusion of this video. So speeding along to Ichigo. Now Ichigo is very controversial in his scaling, or in general, Bleach characters are very difficult to pinpoint their scaling. Pinpoint their scaling. Is it pinpoint? Yes, pinpoint their scaling. And the reason for this is, or you know what, I'll just try to scale it for you and you'll see it. Now if we look at Ichigo, to jump straight to his most notable feat was basically beating Yuha. I know some people call it Yoach, Zoach or whatever, but I'll be calling it Yuha for this video. Basically beating Yuha, that's what most people look at as his best feat, even for me. Yuha was stated to destroy the Soul Society, Hyuka and the living world, right? But most people now, they argue against that fact with the point of this statement that the Soul King was the linchpin that held together the three realms, and once he's taken out, they'll fall into a state of chaos. My counter for this was the Soul King was taken out and all we had were light earthquakes. We didn't see this stuff falling apart. But though some people say it was a gradual process, and that even Yuha wouldn't have destroyed the three realms in instantaneously or in a short amount of time. He would have simply waited for it to gradually fall apart, and then he will claim he destroyed it. Though I think I can argue against that, but I will not really, because it takes a long amount of time and things that will not really be relevant to this video. For that, all I have to say is that even if you look at the fact that that was or would have been done because the Soul King was actually taken out, there are multiple statements of characters that specifically stated that Yuha himself would have destroyed the three realms. Taking apart those ones now, or what I wouldn't just use now, is that in this scene right here, Yuha was specifically spreading his reishi in this attack that he claimed would have destroyed the Soul Society along with Ichigo. He wanted to destroy Ichigo and he said he would destroy the Soul Society along with him. So ignoring all other things, for him to make the claim that he would destroy the Soul Society along with Ichigo, it proves that he must at least be able to destroy the Soul Society. And if the Soul Society is a mirror image of Earth, as stated by Rukia, there are two sides of the same coin, then him destroying the Soul Society puts him planetary. Then there are people that are like, he's universal because the Soul Society is a mirror image of the living world, because it wasn't stated Earth, it was stated as a living world, which people assume to be the entire universe, though I see that as being kind of not too smart, because literally jumping from barely able to destroy the Serete to the universe sounds a whole lot of weird to me. So I would think that that attack should be what we'll just use, him claiming he could take out the Serete along with Ichigo, which should be planetary. And even if an Ichigo actually now beating that character should put him at planetary, you might wonder that, oh, he caught him off guard or stuff like that. But in Bleach, from his first fight with Kenpachi, we know that if your reishi isn't on par with your opponent, you won't be able to harm him. So from that now, we know that Ichigo was at least on par with Yuha for him to be able to harm him, putting Ichigo as close to planetary, if not planetary. Now speed becomes one of the most difficult things to scale. Right from the beginning, we know that Ichigo in his normal Bankai could dodge Gin's sword, which was stated to be Mark 500. I know he later said he lied, but at that point it's safe to assume it was Mark 500 because Aizen was watching, and if it wasn't Mark 500, I think Aizen will be able to notice that something was off with the description Gin gave him. So Gin will want it to be Mark 500. So even if that wasn't the full power, at that point it should have been Mark 500. That's my logic right there. But he did that way back. Going on in the movie, he dodged lightning bolts from this girl. Oh, I don't know, I forget names in anime pretty easily, but it'll probably be on screen. From this girl, right? Then moving on, we know he's above Renji, because Renji could not even stand Yuha. We know he's above Renji, and in this scene, Renji deflected a light beam from this character. It was said to be the light beam of heroes, whatever. I don't know, I keep forgetting though. But he deflected this light beam, and putting all this together now, right, you can sort of say Ichigo is faster than light. But the issue here is that there is no definite feat of Ichigo in himself being faster than light. I know we've seen some not Stenritas dodge Yuha's Ashuan, and Yuha is supposed to be superior to all Stenritas, meaning Yuha should be at least faster than light if those Stenritas are faster than light, and Ichigo beating him will make him faster than light. The issue with this now is that you have to pile up at least 3 or 4 comparisons of characters before you get a faster than light feat for Ichigo, which makes it very easily argued against. And I will not want to push further than faster than light, because it becomes very hard to uphold. And even with this faster than light, I know you're probably going to roast me in the comment section. I'll just steal my heart for that. But I will say faster than light for the reasons I gave. Him being superior to Renji, and also at that point he was literally the only person in the Soul Society who could fight Yuha, right? And Yuha now, we have Shunsui dodging a light beam from Lily Barrow also in this point, and that now makes, and if we assume that Ichigo was superior to everyone, being that he was the strongest and he was literally the only one that would fight Yuha, because others were beaten or barely beat the Stenritas that we know Yuha is superior to, then Ichigo defeating Yuha will put him above those other characters which will make him FTL. I know it sounds kind of like horse crap to you, with the fact that I have to like jumble upon and upon and upon to get the fit ball. I really like, I said I don't know if I've said this though, but I'm really biased towards Bleach, and I kind of want Ichigo to, even if he loses to Naruto, to be somewhat on par with him. I don't want him to lose too badly. That's why I'm piling up everything I can to kind of give him an FTL fit. Though I know you can argue against it in the comment section, I will try my best to reply. But that's how I look at it. And another reason why it's just a personal feeling, not anything, but being that at that point, right, he dodged a Mark 500 when he was in Bankai. Being the amount of multipliers he's had up till the end of the movie, it seems unreasonable that you still want to put him among that level, being that he blitzed characters who were faster than him, and that cycle continued onwards and onwards and onwards. But that's just my reason. And he also dodged this rain of light from Uryu, though I don't think this really matters because it doesn't seem like light any form, way or manner. So that's what I'll look at his speed, faster than light. And I'll just add maybe because I know it can be argued against. Now for his durability, just skip right back to that feat of where I said you have said he'll erase Ichigo along with the Serete. Ichigo survived that attack, which puts his durability at least planetary. I think that's kind of easy to like comprehend and easy to move on. Now I think we should be done with Ichigos Strengths, Ichigos AP, Durability and Speed, and all of this. I know they can easily be argued against. There are people that believed that, like I said, the destruction of the Soul Society was not what it seemed. There are also people that believe that even Yuha claiming to destroy the Soul Society with his Reishi was actually just the Soul King at work, or people claiming that it was the Almighty he was using and not his actual Reishi. I know there are ways to argue against all this, but this, as I say, should be a reasonable compromise for all of us. Okay then, now that we're finished with the AP, speed and durability of all characters, it's time for the conclusion to finally see who will win. Like I said, there were some hacks about Naruto that I said we'll talk about. I don't know if I've explained hacks before, but it's basically any logic defying power that cannot be scaled under AP, speed or durability. We usually have a group where we call them hacks. Now for Naruto, it was from his Baryon mode, where they say as his own chakra or his life force reduces, he also shaves down the life force of the opponent, meaning he can shave away your life force. This was the hacks I said I would talk about Naruto first. Putting Naruto up against Ichigo, to me, I don't see these hacks having much potential because first, it was used on Ishiki, whose lifespan was no more than 3 days, and Naruto was near breaking point by the time they were defeating Ishiki, which shows that even for a being with just that short amount of lifespan, it takes a lot of chakra to do that. And even if you say it's because of Ishiki's speed, then when you're Ishiki's strength, not his speed, then when you're now comparing to Ichigo, who is a Soul Reaper, and we know that Soul Reapers have thousands of years of lifespan. Hollows too, they also have thousands of years of lifespan. Most of them even seem unkillable. When you're bringing that kind of hacks to that kind of verse, a verse that they have thousands of years of lifespan, it seems pointless because if to shave a 2-day lifespan, you were almost at death point, then to now shave a 1,000-year lifespan, you'll probably die before you complete it. So that hacks doesn't really matter. It's only the AP that comes along with the new form that I really think matters in a comparison with Ichigo. It may matter in a comparison with other people, but against Ichigo, not so much. Then Naruto's regenerative abilities. This is another thing that will give him an edge against Ichigo, meaning even if Ichigo lands a blow that should be fatal, though we've not seen Naruto taking anything like being split in half, taking off his head, but we know that damages to organs and pierces does not affect him, or affect him, but it's not life-threatening to him. So even if Ichigo is able to land a blow like that, let's say a stab through his chest, assuming he doesn't do any other thing special, like maybe insert Reishi, create an explosion to tear him apart or stuff like that, if it's just like normal stabs and stuff, we know that Naruto will be able to take it. Even if it pierces him, it won't necessarily cause him that much damage because he has regenerative abilities. Ichigo also displayed regenerative abilities back in his qualified form, but we don't know if he still has them. But being that the fact that we saw him with his Horn of Salvation, I think it's safe to assume that he still has them. And if you remember, when Yuha was done with him in the Soul King's Palace, Ichigo did not heal himself from Orihime. Yuha said it. He was able to heal and come back, though we assume that he has some regenerative abilities even at the end of the series, though we don't know to what extent. Now, putting everything we have on ground, let's finally see who wins. First of all, for the AP, they are somewhat on par, but it will be safe to assume that Naruto is a bit higher, being that Naruto clearly has more credibility to his AP, so I would say Naruto is higher. In speed, Naruto is obviously higher than Ichigo, and in durability, same argument with his AP, Naruto should be higher than Ichigo. Putting all this together, we see that Naruto wins, and Naruto also has regenerative abilities, so Naruto will best Ichigo in a fight. Without any other factors, Naruto will best Ichigo in the fight as of what we've seen. But I would like to remind us of something. We never saw Ichigo's full power, but it's the same argument I made in my last versus battle with Saitama and Goku, where I said we've not seen any of their full power. Naruto novel is still going on, and he's got to the point of near star level and stuff like that with the characters they are meeting now. So using that argument for Ichigo will kind of be what would I call it? Will kind of be hypocritical, being the fact that Naruto has a novel in which he's way stronger and Ichigo will just be based on speculation. So I will not even continue my conversation. So with this, I think it's clear who is the winner. Naruto would win Ichigo, not by much based on how I look at it. Slight difference in AP. Speed is where he has the most notable difference, and a slight difference in durability. So that's basically how I see it. So till next time, whips. Till next time. Don't really have a specific date, but we'll hopefully be seeing soon. And if you managed to survive till this point, throw in a like, subscribe, and maybe leave a few comments on whether you like it or not. It helps, like, you see we are like a new channel, so you can also share to everyone. Maybe you've had an argument with someone before. If you think what I said makes sense, you can just share it around. It really helps the channel.